gave reports from rape crisis. I also gave doctors' reports and evidence that I was suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder as a result of the harassment, and I was simply called a liar.
Well, effectively you were discriminated against
Yes,
as a female.
yes. I was
and probably, I don't know whether you feel, but perhaps he had they were biased towards him as the.
We certainly weren't treated as equals.
No.
It was clearly evident at the grievance hearings that my reaction to his behaviour was more important than his actual behaviour and how he'd conducted himself. It was really damaging. I felt invisible. I felt dehumanised. I felt like they ruined my reputation. They took away my career. They effectively dismissed me with a view that it was easier to pay to make the problem go away. I was then encouraged to take a settlement out of court, which I didn't want. I wanted to be heard. I wanted the company to be held accountable for the way they had treated me, and I wanted people to know that I wasn't this person they were portraying me to be. When I had been off sick because I couldn't cope with the situation, and I certainly couldn't go back to work with the man who'd done this to me, and he was still freely working in the area that I covered, and I wanted things to go back to normal. I had no idea that reporting would be so damaging to me, and I found it extremely difficult that people are very judgmental and they say, well, why did you let it go on for so long? But the fact of the matter is, I dealt with it the best way that I thought I could with what I had at the moment. And afterwards, I was just devastated that I ended up with no reputation, no career. My mental health's ruined, and I'm now at the stage that I feel unable to work for another employer because I have no trust in the system anymore. I don't feel protected. I don't feel that I've been heard. So I came to this course to try and raise awareness that it's not just as simple as telling your story, because employers need to have instruction. They need to be properly trained on how to deal with sexual harassment grievances, and they can't just simply dismiss it as, well, he said you wanted it, so therefore we think that it's okay. Because certainly his behaviour was not acceptable, not in any means.
No.
So I now have no idea where I'm going. I feel damaged to an extent that I've lost all direction. I've lost all trust. I almost lost my house. Financially, I was in a situation that my job was taken from me, my career was taken, my income was taken, my company car was taken, leaving me living rural with no means of transport whatsoever. And I feel that I was punished for speaking out. So I then wondered, what do you do? Because if you don't speak out, you're consenting to the behaviour, and if you do speak out, you're called a liar.
Absolutely. So hopefully this media course will help you to set the record straight somewhat and be able to get your story across in a more positive way, so that people actually understand that how much you've had to go against in trying to tell people exactly what happened and what the truth was.
It's been extremely difficult because financially I couldn't afford to go privately, and I think large employers and large establishments, they're aware of this, that they know that even though there's laws in place and policies in place, if they choose to simply get rid of the problem, they can make an out-of-court settlement and you will be deemed to be unreasonable if you don't accept it. And if I hadn't accepted the settlement, I was threatened that the union had a discretionary funding scheme and that they had gone as far as they would go, and if I didn't take the settlement, the funding would be withdrawn. Effectively, I felt blackmailed and pushed into accepting the settlement. I am grateful for the union support I received initially, because I couldn't have gone through the grievance procedure without the support I did receive from them, but I feel that they took me 80% of the way and wouldn't let me finish.
It's a catch-22 situation, isn't it?
I just wanted to be heard.
Yes,
I wanted
absolutely.
to be heard. And I now feel that My family has been punished because they've had to support me while I suffered a mental breakdown. I became suicidal when I was told that he had done nothing wrong and I was the one to blame, and I couldn't see a way out of it. I just wanted the mental torment to stop, and I don't know how to make it better. I just want companies to be accountable for their behaviour, and not, I don't want it to be a financial thing where they can pay you to make the problem go away. There was no accountability.
No.
They took away my livelihood. They paid me a financial settlement which didn't even cover 2 years lost income, and I'm now left 10 years from retirement age with no financial prospects for my future, and I fear losing my house if I can't recoup some fund in some way.